So today we're going to be talking about the ridiculous reasons why Luka Doncic was traded. He was traded from the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, I'm not at home while all of this stuff happens. I was asleep. I woke up. I've only got 4 videos out today. We're just uploading every little minute detail. Basically, I will be going over every single thing on social media about this over the course of the day. So if you guys want to subscribe to what hopefully will become the most up-to-date NBA quick news channel on the platform, subscribe. This is my WNBA stuff. If you subscribe to WNBA, that'd be great. But for the NBA, if we're trying to hit 10,050 subscribers by the end of the day, we are exactly uno away. But we're out here looking at Luka Doncic going to the Lakers. And the Mavericks actually released it to ESPN and are they basically said Luka got too fat. I'm not joking when I say this. Their excuse for why they traded Luka was he got too fat. That was the logic. That was what they said. They said it was obviously defense wins championships. It was cold. I'm okay. The reason why you guys got to the final last year. Okay, defense wins championships. Cool. You were an unbelievable defensive team with last season. You became an unbelievable defensive team. You need to put the ball in the basket. And I'm sorry, AD at the 4 is not as good as AD at the 5. Not in the year of 2025. Not now. I know he says he's a 4, but cool, you're playing defense. But you're clogging the lane. If you are either spotting up and you don't have Luka to throw the lobs anymore. This team sucked without Luka. Both ends of the floor. And the scoring's not going to be the same. You're not going to have a go-to end of the game guy. You're not winning a championship this year if you're Dallas. You're just not. Maybe my mind might change if you somehow replace PJ Washington with Cam Johnson. Now that maybe is a change. But you took a horizontal step and got rid of the second best player and best peak of any player in your franchise history. Luka Doncic, and people are oh, Dirk. Luka averaged 34, 9 and 9 and dragged the team to the finals. While averaging 34, 9 and 9. Robbed of an MVP. Absolutely robbed of an MVP. And I get it. People saying defense wins championships. Based on what? The Celtics won a championship because they shoot the most threes and make the most threes. The Warriors, as good as the Warriors' defense were, it was their ultra-powered offense that won them a championship. The Houston Rockets nearly beat the 2018 Warriors with Mike D'Antoni as a coach. And I understand Mike D'Antoni has never won a championship. You need both. You need to be an elite offensive team and a mediocre defensive team. If you're an elite defensive team and a mediocre offensive team in the year 2024, you're not winning a championship. How many absolutely elite defensive teams have we seen that are not poor, but not elite offensive teams? Did you guys think that Kyrie is going to be the number 1? Kyrie's going to be the 1. He's going to be the 1A. His AD doesn't have it in him to be a 1A. So it's going to be Kyrie. And that's not going to happen. And it's the same botch Steph Curry. In his Nike presentation, according to Harrison, he may have called him Seth. And a presentation used is made for Kevin Durant, along with not offering him a signature shoe. He literally, when he worked for Nike, he called Steph Curry Seth Curry. And this is when Seth was playing for Duke. This is when Seth went undrafted. He called him Seth and showed him a presentation made for Kevin bleeping Durant. I'm sorry. Did you think he wasn't going to notice? That's Kevin Durant. You know who he is. You know who he is. He's Kevin Durant. But it's madness. Some of the stuff is absolute madness. And this trade is crazy. This trade's absolutely crazy. They're why did you make that trade? And it's oh, Luka Doncic, we'd like to thank Nico Harrison being we'd like to thank Luka Doncic for helping us get into the position we're in. Man, Luka Doncic, Dirk Nowitzki was blindsided on this. You pissed off Dirk. Everyone was blindsided by this. Why? Because you were annoyed that he got a little bit heavier? Okay, then put a damn weight clause in his contract. Do something. But don't send the second best player in the world when healthy to a team for the 10th best player in the world. And I understand people the Mavs are better this year. One, do you think the Mavs are going to make the finals? If the answer is no, they're not better this year. And 2, Luka Doncic is 6 years younger than Anthony Davis. Luka Doncic has made 6 years younger, has made more all NBA first teams, has been healthy more often, and AD literally has the nickname Street Clothes. They nicknamed him Street Clothes. They were questioning the availability of a guy who had probably the heaviest offensive load we've ever seen in Luka Doncic. And now you have given Luka Doncic this basketball freaking obsessed JJ Redick, who, by the way, played with Luka. I don't know how much he got. Did he get on much for the Mavs? But he was there with Luka. You have got basketball obsessed JJ Redick with Luka Doncic. And by the way, I don't think the Lakers are contenders this year. That's not what it's about. It is about getting Luka Doncic here, making sure, because he's not eligible for a super max extension with the Dallas Maverick or with the Lakers, saving money, not having to give him a super max, and then going and making a play in 2026 for Giannis Antetokounmpo. If Giannis cannot win next year, Milwaukee are gone all in. They're not going to trade him the last year of a deal. Like, even though obviously it's, let him walk in free agency, you're not going to get much from him, because if everyone knows he wants to go to LA, and it won't be for a big market, it'll be to play with this man right here. There is a non-zero chance that Giannis Antetokounmpo and Luka Doncic are on the same team next year. And if that, or in 2 years, and by the way, Giannis is what? Giannis is younger than Anthony Davis. I think Giannis is what? Is he 29? I think he's either 29 or 30. Giannis will still be in his prime. Luka Doncic will be 27. And you will have a prime Luka potentially and a prime Giannis playing together in LA. What LA did was make I'm telling you, like, they made for this year, horizontal step while giving them a new face of the franchise and a new probable face of the NBA very soon. Because yeah, of course, normally it has to, when the American thing matters, especially if he's in Dallas. But I'm telling you, if Luka is Luka in LA, and by the way, Luka Doncic is not going to be happy with this. Like, I can guarantee you Luka gets in the best shape of his life. I can guarantee you Luka gets in the best shape of his life and is a man possessed next season. I think next year is going to be LeBron's last, by the way. And I think also LA makes some sort of a play for Miles Turner. I think they do make a play for Miles Turner, and I think they're now going to be willing to give up the 2031 first, because they weren't going to be willing to give that up with when LeBron was gone and AD was probably going to go. But now you've got Luka as your face. You're going to be good in 2031. That's 6 years from now. Luka Doncic is going to be 31 years old. So you can afford to give away that pick because you're going to be good. So, yeah, it's a mad one. It's a mad one. But the fact that Nico Harrison has made this trade, like, he's botched it worse. And, like, I get it. He wins championships. But, like, you don't trade the best offensive player in basketball, one of the 8 greatest offensive players in the history of the sport, because you want to improve your defense. You surround the offensive superstars with defense. I'm sorry, like, I get it. LeBron James at his prime, Michael Jordan, their prime, did it on both ends of the floor. Magic Johnson was a cone on defense. Larry Bird was not a good defender. Larry Bird wasn't a bad defender, but he wasn't a good one. A lot of the time. His hands were quick, couldn't really stay in front of anybody. And Luka Doncic, in his defense, his hands are quick, and he can actually guard power forwards a little bit. Like, he's just not quick laterally. It doesn't matter what shape Luka gets into, he's never going to be quick laterally. But you surround those players with complementary pieces. You don't trade them to get a complementary piece for a 33-year-old Kyrie Irving, a Klay Thompson who literally joined your team to play with Luka, 2 bigs who are only good because of the lobs Luka throws to them. And yes, Kyrie is unbelievable, but come on now. Come on. Kyrie and AD are not winning a championship. And I could be very wrong with these videos. This could age badly, but I'm pretty confident in that take.